Worldwide shock. How Carney's unexpected surrender changed everything. Canada's political landscape has experienced a dramatic shakeup, and much of the nation's frustration has focused on Prime Minister Mark Carney. When Carney stepped into office after winning the Liberal leadership, many Canadians hoped his deep financial expertise and global experience would stabilize the country's economy and lead with strength. However, recent events have shown a different picture. The defining moment came with Carney's abrupt reversal on the digital services tax, a bold initiative initially designed to hold multinational tech giants accountable and generate billions in revenue. This sudden backtrack surprised Canadians and international observers alike, sparking serious doubts about Carney's ability to stand firm under pressure. The digital services tax was intended to ensure that companies like Google, Facebook, and Amazon paid their fair share for the digital economy's growth in Canada. Carney's government argued the revenue from this tax was essential for funding crucial social programs and easing the financial burden on everyday Canadians. Yet, despite strong initial support and assurances from Carney's team that the tax would move forward, outside pressures mounted quickly. Within weeks, the government announced the tax's repeal, catching many off guard. The reversal was seen as not just a policy change, but a symbolic moment revealing cracks in Canada's negotiating strength and political will. Carney's office attempted to frame the repeal as a strategic decision made within a broader trade negotiation plan, but few Canadians were convinced. The narrative of a calculated retreat did not align with the timing or the sharp tone of the international response. The loss of roughly $7 billion in expected revenue has thrown the federal budget into turmoil. Canadians are left wondering how the government will bridge this gap. Will programs be cut? Will taxes rise? Or will borrowing increase, further inflating the national debt? These questions hang heavily as Canadians grapple with an uncertain economic future. The political consequences of this surrender have been just as severe. Public confidence in Carney's leadership has taken a hit. What was supposed to be a steady hand on the helm has, instead, appeared hesitant and reactive. Social media and everyday conversations reflect this mood, with many Canadians sharing memes poking fun at Carney's awkward moments, such as his post-election attempt at a hip-hop dance with his wife. While meant to show a lighter side, the incident underscored a perception that the leadership lacks seriousness and direction at a critical moment. Economically, the country faces significant headwinds. A small contraction in the economy in April stoked fears of an impending recession. The housing market crisis, already deepening, is squeezing Canadian families as mortgage rates surge. Many homeowners who purchased during the pandemic's low-interest environment now face monthly payments several times higher than before. These financial pressures create anxiety and uncertainty, with experts cautioning that these challenges stem largely from global economic shifts, including inflation and central bank policies, beyond Canada's immediate control. Despite Carney's impressive resume as a former central banker and financial expert, his transition into political leadership has been rocky. His approach, often marked by technical jargon and economic models, hasn't translated into a clear, compelling vision that resonates with everyday Canadians. The Parliamentary Budget Officer, appointed during the Liberal government, has publicly questioned the government's ability to manage its fiscal situation prudently, casting shadows over promises made by Carney and his team. On the opposition side, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has seized the moment to build momentum. His campaign messaging focuses on fiscal responsibility, reducing government overreach, and promoting economic freedom, striking a chord with voters disillusioned by Liberal missteps. In by-elections such as Battle River, Crowfoot, Conservative candidates are mobilizing volunteers and supporters, showing strong grassroots enthusiasm. Poilievre's blend of sharp critique and promises of stability has positioned the Conservatives as the primary alternative for many Canadians seeking change. Debates over controversial policies like the Online News Act further highlight the broader tensions in Canadian politics. Many citizens worry about the government's expanding role, fearing that laws designed to regulate digital content and platforms could unintentionally stifle free expression and harm smaller news outlets. These concerns tie into a wider unease about growing government control, which alienates voters who value individual freedoms and a vibrant marketplace of ideas. Housing affordability remains a dominant, unresolved crisis. Interest rates continue to rise, foreign investment persists, and population growth adds pressure. Combined with increasing property taxes and inflation, many Canadians feel the squeeze on their daily lives. Municipal governments are also raising fees to cover stretched budgets, adding to the overall cost of living. The disconnect between government promises and citizens' experiences fuels political discontent and activism demanding real solutions. Environmental policies introduced under Carney's leadership have sparked controversy as well. Measures like the carbon border adjustment and mandatory electric vehicle quotas are seen by critics as costly and potentially harmful to Canada's economic competitiveness. Many worry these initiatives will increase expenses for families and businesses without delivering the promised environmental benefits, risking economic isolation and further political polarization. Despite the turmoil, Canadian pride and democratic values remain strong. The snap federal election of April 28, 2025, demonstrated a public desire for accountability and effective governance. Voters are increasingly critical of political leaders and demand transparency and concrete plans to tackle the country's mounting challenges. Looking ahead, the government faces tough decisions. The sudden loss of billions in revenue from the DST repeal creates an urgent need to revisit fiscal policies and budget priorities. Canadians will be watching closely to see if Carney and his administration can regain trust by delivering clear, practical solutions to economic uncertainty and social issues. In the end, Mark Carney's unexpected surrender on the digital services tax represents more than a single policy failure. It signals a critical juncture for Canada's political and economic future. The challenges ahead are daunting, but how the government responds will determine whether Canada can restore its reputation, rebuild its economy, and unite its citizens in a shared vision for the future or continue down a path of division and doubt.